So the quote is this. It says, "The man that moved a mountain started with the smallest rock." And I think that's so true. And it's one of my favorite quotes because if you want to achieve anything, especially when you're doing deep focused work, you got to start with the smallest positive action that'll get the ball rolling. Just like Newton's law, an object in motion will stay in motion. So we want to do a positive small habit that'll get us in the right mindset and the right positive actions to start doing the work. And if you think about it, if you do the opposite and you do a bad habit, first thing in the morning you wake up and you look at your phone, your brain's going to be in that state where it's wanting that dopamine from your phone and Instagram and social media and YouTube. And it's really hard to get out of that state and change that state that your brain's in to start doing the deep work state. Especially in today's day and age with these billion-dollar companies, they're all destroying your focus and your attention span. I used to spend 3 hours a day on my phone. 3 hours a day over 10 years, that's a whole year of my life. I was just looking at a piece of glass and metal, and you're probably doing the same, and I don't want that. You probably don't want that. And so right now, the skill with the highest demand but lower supply is being able to do deep focused work. So because it's in a low supply but a high demand, it's the most valuable skill because everyone's attention spans are fried right now. So if you want my help to learn the most valuable skill in today's day and age, scroll down to the description and click the first link right now. The perfect 6 a.m. morning routine for deep work first starts the night before. You got to understand that in order to wake up early, you got to go to sleep early. If you don't, you're going to wake up really tired and groggy, and you don't want that. So even for me, if I'm normally someone that wakes up nice and early. So even if I go to bed at 12 o'clock, I'll still wake up 5 o'clock, and you don't want to be waking up with only 5 hours sleep and then trying to do deep work where your brain's literally fried. So setting a go to sleep alarm around 9 hours before you wake up, not 8 hours, because you're going to be in bed for, an hour and a bit before you actually fall asleep. And when you wake up, it takes you a while to actually get out of bed. So setting an alarm 9 hours before you actually wake up will help the most with waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning. So you want to wake up at 6 a.m. What's 9 hours before 6 a.m.? Well, that's 9 o'clock. So be in bed by 9 o'clock if you want to wake up by 6 o'clock. And then once you've got that good night's rest, 9 hours sleep, you're going to feel amazing. You're just going to feel refreshed and ready for the day. I was on the bus the other day and this lady was literally screaming out loud how amazing her sleep was and how refreshed she was. And it was just refreshing to see someone that had a good night's sleep and they were just openly bloating about it. So your early morning routine starts the night before. Set an alarm for yourself for when to go to bed. And then make sure you get that good night's sleep. Now, the actual morning routine is what I call the 3% rule, and I've been using it for over 1,000 days. And literally, I'll show you before and after what I look like. This was me before when I just started doing the morning routine. I was a skinny little kid, just at university, had bad habits, was on my phone all day, ate junk food. Even though I was a semi-professional athlete, I was super unfit. This is me now. Put on 15 kilos of muscle, became extremely disciplined, worked hard. And so if it wasn't for this morning routine, I wouldn't have made this change. And during my degree, I studied medicine and exercise physiology. So I understand the human body really well. And there were two main things that benefit you the most, especially for deep work. And that's doing exercise, so warming your body up, and then also warming your mind up. And so the 3% rule basically means dedicating 3% of your day, which is 45 minutes, towards improving your health, which is your morning routine, a 45-minute morning routine where we're going to fill our mind by reading. We're going to use our mind through meditating, and we're going to empty our mind by journaling, and then going to move our body through exercise. So these three things are what's shown in the science to be the best for actually improving your mental health. And if you're in that positive state of mind when you go to deep work, it's going to be effortless and easy. Whereas if you're on social media, seeing how amazing everyone else's lives are first thing in the morning, you're going to be pretty depressed and not motivated to go and do actual deep work. And then when you move your body, you're going to be stimulating endorphins in your body, so you're going to feel happy and healthy and ready to go for the day. And it's going to start increasing blood flow to your brain, so your brain's got all these chemicals it needs to actually focus and do deep work. So it prepares your body and prepares your mind for deep work, allowing you to get into that deep focus state. I've been doing it for over 1,000 days, and I can say it's changed my whole life. Following this 3% rule, where I dedicated the first 3% of my day to doing these 4 healthy habits. So what I did, I'll do 30 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of filling my mind of reading, 5 minutes of using my mind by meditating, and 5 minutes of emptying my mind by journaling. Straightforward and simple, and it's the perfect 6 a.m. morning routine to get you started and get the ball rolling, to allow you to move that mountain one rock at a time, get into that big, deep focus state and get a whole bunch of stuff done. So once you've done that morning routine, then what do? You go to the smallest win. The man that moved the mountain began by moving the smallest rock. Begin your deep work session by tackling the smallest, most manageable task. Even if you want to write a book, right? You don't write a book in a 3-hour block. You start with writing the first sentence. And you start the sentence with the first word. And you start the first word with the first character. It all starts with starting just the first, most manageable task you can do. Oftentimes we will overwhelm ourselves with the amount of work that we give ourselves. Just break it down in what's the most smallest thing I can do right now. Even if it's just typing out a word, that's how you got to start. Get the ball rolling. And once you get rolling, it gets easy. But procrastination is due to just the overwhelming size that we actually believe the task or effort the task is going to take. If you break that effort down into small tasks, it seems easy. Like if I told you to write a book, you'd be overwhelmed. But if I told you to just write a sentence, you can do that. That's manageable. So once you've done the morning routine, start with the smallest win or the smallest task to get the ball rolling. And then you should also have a successful workspace for your distractions like your phone, because if you can see a distraction, it will distract you. So make sure your workspace is conducive for you to do deep work by removing everything that's in your field of view that isn't related to actually doing the work. Organize your desk. You use noise cancelling headphones. I use AirPods just to get myself into a focus state. Get rid of your phone and lift the height of your screen so you're not looking down when you're working, you're actually looking up. So once you've done those 4 things, what are you probably thinking now? I'm not a morning person. I can't be productive at 6 a.m. But you can train yourself to be a morning person. I've met people that used to wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning and they've trained themselves to wake up at 6 a.m. And it starts by understanding your body's clock. And so we have a temperature minimum. This is 2 hours before we wake up is when our body's temperature will be at its lowest. So if you know that, you can set what time your body's temperature will be at its lowest. So if you wake up at 6 o'clock, your temperature minimum will be 4 a.m. So what that means is then if you go to bed earlier, you'll start to actually adjust your temperature minimum, which will be the lowest point of your body's temperature during the day. So you can actually change the time you wake up by adjusting the time you go to bed. And if you're a morning person, the best way you can actually start getting into deep work is by hydrating yourself. Often when we wake up, the first thing that's happened is we're really dehydrated. So if you continuously hydrate yourself first thing in the morning, it's going to give all the nutrients that your brain needs to start working. So your full plan of action: set a go to sleep alarm 9 hours before you wake up. Use the 3% rule, so dedicating the first 45 minutes of your morning to exercise, meditate, journal, and reading. That'll get the ball rolling into these positive habits and allow your state of mind to just be in the right mood to get the work done. And then start with the smallest action. When you go to do your deep work, don't try and complete the whole big task at once. Start with thinking about what's the smallest thing I can do. And then set up your environment for success. Remove all your distractions. If it's a distraction and you can see it, it'll distract you. So get rid of everything. Make sure you've only got the tools that are necessary for your work in your field of view. Now, if you need help with setting up your environment or coming up with your own deep work protocol, you can scroll down to the first link in the description. And I can help you one-on-one and take you through exactly what you can do to make 3 hours of deep work a daily habit.